Yes, it all started out as a mild curiosity in the junkyard.
There are some corners of the universe which have read the most terrible things.
Go away.
Always remembering, of course, not to reverse the polarity of the neutron.
Change, my dear. And it seems on a moment too soon.
Decision.
Don't worry, it's bigger on the inside.
Doctor Who.
Excuse me, do you mind not farting while I'm staying in the wood?
I always read the instruction.
Kidneys! How can you kidneys?
Would you like a jelly baby?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Welcome
to episode 200 of Doctor Who Time and Space.
200, that's even older than me.
That was the new theme tune there. The
Yeah.
brand new theme tune that we're going to use every week. It's quite professional, isn't it?
Everyone may notice that the music's slightly slowed down, so we will
Yes.
be talking in a slowed down manner so.
I'm Lewis Moon,
And I'm Dr. Cool.
and we have a fantastic show coming up this week.
Got lots of stuff in it. What's in it?
We will be looking at some of the most memorable moments in Doctor Who history.
We'll be giving our thoughts on the 50th anniversary spectacular Day of the Doctor.
We will be taking a look at the latest news, including a look at the brand new Season 10 teaser trailer.
We'll be doing other stuff. What else are we doing?
Quiz or question will be back for a one-off edition.
And we'll be pressing the magic randomizer.
Yes.
So,
Packed show for number 200. It's sort of a special show. We've got some brilliant stuff coming up.
yeah, well, let's kick off then. I mean, we usually talk a little bit about what we've been doing during the week. Now, I think as we've got so much to fit into this hour, we'll probably keep this a little bit on the light side. But what have you been doing this week?
Not much, to be honest.
Neither have I. Thank you very much, everybody.
I continued to listen to my audio, obviously.
Yeah.
That's probably about it.
Really?
My audio's Marshful at the moment, if you're not sure. That's really good.
So you haven't got through any more of your DVDs?
No, I haven't, but I did buy another audio.
Did you? What one?
The Girl Who Never Was, I think it's called.
Okay. Which one's that? Who's that?
Paul McGann, Charlotte Pollard's Last Adventure, and the Sidemen are in it.
Ah, I see. Excellent. Well, to be honest, I don't think I've got anything to report at all. 'Cause I've not.
Okay.
Not really. I don't know what I did do though. I learnt to play chess the other day, which is amazing.
Really?
Yeah. So that at my age, after all these years, I've actually learned to play chess. It was
Oh.
really good fun.
I don't know how to play chess.
Yeah. Well, I don't know 100%, but I've picked up the bulk of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
I don't like chess.
I don't know. It's really interesting. Actually, it's a really good game. It's really once you get your head around it, it's such a really enjoyable thing.
Why
But,
are we talking about chess? This isn't
yeah.
a chess time.
Well, we haven't got time to talk about it too much.
We've
Anyway.
got a lot coming
All I
up.
would say is that give it a few weeks, and I reckon I'll be sufficiently good at chess to be able to beat even the Russians, who are always good at chess.
That'll be good.
So, I mean, if we haven't really got too much else to talk about on a catch-up, perhaps we should really just get straight into the meat of what we're going to be talking about this week,
let's
because it's
go
such a
into
hectic
yeah,
show.
let's go into the news because you've got some big news this week. Okay, so this is episode 200, and we have a lot to fit in, and we mean a lot this week, more than we usually do. So,
Not a great amount of news, though, have we?
not a great amount of news, but we did. Just before recording, we were about to record this episode, and then the BBC dropped an announcement that they were going to be releasing a nugget of a trailer or something, as we thought was a trailer, or a clip, or a mini-sode, or a news announcement about Season 10. And we dropped a brand new trailer for Season 10, or I'll call it a teaser trailer for Season 10.
I think it is a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it isn't really. So it's a bit different than the first trailer, because this one's sort of more of a teaser trailer because it's probably not footage that will be featured in the actual series itself.
No.
But it's sort of teasing what some of the footage is.
It's the second time, though, isn't it, where we've had the trailer introduced to us from the perspective of Bill.
I never noticed that, yeah. Do you think that'll be in the series? Do you think we'll be...
No.
No.
I think it's just very much with it being a new companion.
Yeah.
They're just using that as a way of bigging her up, I think.
So we've got the new companion, Bill Potts, if you might not know, joining the Doctor. Did you know she was called Bill Potts?
No, I knew it was Bill, but I didn't know what the surname was.
It's a weird surname.
Mm.
So the new trailer's called A Time for Heroes. Quite an interesting trailer. What are your first thoughts?
I think it's a really good one for introducing or basically sort of just getting the anticipation for the season going. I mean,
Yeah, we've
doesn't
only
really
got
tell
7 weeks.
It doesn't tell us a considerable amount, but I did have one thought on it,
Yeah.
which I don't know whether you want me to say now or to wait on a little bit. But
Yeah.
there was a line near the end of the trailer where she said,
Foreshadowing.
"Yeah, what was it she said again?"
She said,
But she's saying, "I'm having the time of my life."
but I don't care if it kills me or something.
Yeah, even
if it kills me.
Even if it kills me or something like that. And I just had this thought that there was so much criticism for Stephen Moffat in terms of the way that Clara died and then didn't die, and how generally through his tenure we've had deaths teased that haven't really been deaths. And either that could be that again, or it could be a foreshadowing that maybe he will actually give us a big companion death.
Shocking. Like we haven't had a proper companion death since Adric, have we? So it would be interesting to see that happen, and I think from the foreshadowing here, it might happen.
I mean, it could be, couldn't it? I mean, it could just be concerning. I mean, probably what will happen is that then that will happen, and then the Christmas episode he'll bring it back to life again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's probably not right. It probably isn't foreshadowing. I was just interested that line came into it, and that was my first thought. You noticed something in there in terms of the faces that appear.
I didn't.
You didn't. Oh, you noticed it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which was?
Online. We noticed that. Well, not we noticed. Someone else noticed. The fans noticed that it kind of looked the face that comes out at the Dr. Bill and Nardole looks like that new kind of Ice Warrior that they've been hinting at, which could seem highly unlikely because I think they're probably going into production about now of that episode.
Well, that wouldn't need much, would it? It wouldn't. It would only need the sort of costume.
Yeah, I know, but
So-
yeah, they did do some pictures, didn't they? They did release some pictures of the Ice Warriors, meaning that it is about time for them to do that anyway. So.
Yeah. So it could well be. I didn't really get a quick enough glance at what. There was definitely this bit where you see this sort of image of a load of faces in front of you, but I didn't
Guest
make out
stars,
who
or-
it was. Yeah, maybe. They did a bit like that for Game of Thrones last season, where one of the trailers had a lot of the faces
Yes.
in because of the
Is
whole
that
sort of face
picture up
changing
there
thing.
that we've
Yeah, the picture. I
Yeah.
forgot we had that behind us. Yeah, in the studio we actually have that picture with a lot of the faces in the I forgot what the place is called now, the Room of the Dying or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a very interesting trailer. You check it out if you haven't so far. It's called Time for Heroes. You can see it, any Doctor Who site you can go to, including MrLismeanAdventures.weebly.com, because I just posted that.
Excellent.
It's very good. It's very good and exciting. Do you think this is the second season 10 trailer, or do you think we'll get another one? Proper?
We'll get another one definitely.
2 weeks, couple of weeks.
Give it there might be about a month before it comes out, maybe.
Yeah, I was working it out, and it was 6 weeks before season 9 that they released the second trailer.
Okay.
So it will be a couple of weeks probably.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be too long now at all.
No, but it was exciting to see this new glimpse of what we're going to what this series is going to be like.
Do you know, I've had a real turnaround on things because do you know the thing I'm looking forward for most now about this season?
What?
There's a real turnaround.
Yeah.
Nardole. I'm really looking forward for seeing Nardole after the Christmas one where I thought he came across really, really good.
I'd like to see how Nardole and Bill act together because we haven't seen them at all together so far. I mean, 2 more comedy characters really. I mean, not. I mean, Bill, obviously, she has got a bit more of a comic aspect than, say, Clara, but, you know, she can probably still be serious. We don't know what the chemistry will be like between the personalities of Bill and Nardole and the Doctor mixing in the TARDIS.
No, it's going to be interesting to find out, though, isn't it?
Yes, but Nardole was very good in Return of Dr. Mysterio. We hope he's as good as in season 10.
Can you remember the lines when she sort of says three things about the first time you meet him?
He's funny.
He's funny. The second time, he's amazing, is it?
Yeah, and the third time you realise he's the most dangerous thing in the universe.
Yeah, that's right. So I wonder if that's giving us a bit of a glimpse of the sorts of episodes we're going to get, and then we're going to get some humorous stuff.
Yeah, maybe the first episode we're going to get him in a... Maybe that's what we're going to see in terms of personality.
Mm.
Or maybe he'll meet her 3 times. Maybe he'll die. She'll die and then become an impossible girl again.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Please don't do that again. Do you think they'll do? Do you think Bill will be a more ordinary companion?
I think so.
We hope so, because even though Clara was good, and it's good to have a companion with a lot of backstory, but sometimes it does get a bit too overshadowing.
I think we've said it in the past, so I won't dwell on it too much. But if you look at it through all the New Who companions, the only one that's been totally normal, really, is Martha. You know, aside from that, I know Catherine Tate's one was normal till the very end, but by the end of it, she turned into that Dr. Donna horrible moment. Makes me shiver. So actually, you know, all of them have had something happen, and that never used to happen in the old days, did it? People would get married and disappear off, or something like that. So, you know, it's I prefer that. I much prefer the natural departures.
Yeah, me too.
Than the supernatural ones.
I saw something quite clever a second ago. Oh yeah, there it is.
Okay, what have we got then? You better explain it.
So, the sort of guess of what all of the things are in the trailer.
So this is where we see that image of like a holographic sort of image of a load of faces. So what people are thinking it is then?
People are thinking it's Daleks, Cybermen, emoji robots, ice warriors, and the not the Khan people, the Pfizer Pompeys, or whatever those new monsters are going to be. That.
So are we thinking then that the Cybermen are going to be in it?
I'm going to be surprised if they don't feature in it, because it's Stephen Moffat's last series.
Yeah.
It'd be very surprising if they didn't appear.
Yeah, they could have some form of like cameo. I can't see them having anything other than a cameo.
They'll definitely be in the Christmas special, I think.
Yeah.
At least in it as a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the Cybermen the same deal as the Daleks?
Maybe, not that I'm aware of. You hear it talked about with the Daleks, don't you, all the time?
Yeah, because the Daleks have to be in it every year, don't they? Because
is that true, or is that just a rumour? Is that actually been confirmed anyway?
I think it's true, because if you think through, every year we had 2005, obviously the revival. 2006 we had the season 2 finale. Season 3 we had the Daleks in Manhattan. Season 4 we had Stolen Earth Journey's End. 2009 we had Waters of Mars cameo. 2010 we had the Victory of the Daleks. 2011 we had A Good Man Goes to War cameo. 2012 we had Asylum. 2013 we had Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor cameos. 2014 we had Into the Dalek. 2015 we had Magician's Apprentice, Witch's Familiar. 2016 we had the Friend from the Future clip. And 2017 we have the first episode, which they'll make a cameo in.
What's the Friend of the Future clip?
Last year's clip, you know, the Bill introduction.
Oh, of course we did, yeah.
A Star in Her Eye, though, I'm sure will feature Daleks.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the first episode has got a very small... The introduction to Bill has got a very small clip of the Daleks.
A Star in Her Eye will feature Daleks.
Is that confirmed?
I'm sure.
Is that the first one?
It says in Dawn, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it said in Dawn.
But I think the Daleks this year will be a cameo, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the Christmas special as a cameo too, because it's Capaldi's final story and Stephen
Yeah.
Moffat's final story.
Yeah, true.
But we have had 2 Dalek stories, haven't we, over the Peter Capaldi years?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah,
We've only had 1 Cyberman story, so
yeah,
maybe we'll get a Cyberman story.
yeah. But it was a biggie,
It was, yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So, anything else? Any other thoughts about this?
I don't think so.
trailer?
It's just a very interesting trailer. We've only got 7 weeks to go now till
Yep.
the 15th of April.
That is
so-
true. So, you obviously got all anticipated for the 3:00 announcement.
Yes.
What do you think? What's your take on it? Was it a disappointment or was it worthwhile?
I was expecting a thing with loads of clips in of the
Yeah.
of the series.
Yeah.
Um,
It's disappointment you don't get that.
was expecting to see like monsters and latest footage and stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't. That was a bit of a shame. But I think it did anticipate us for the new series.
Yeah.
And it is. I knew there would be some sort of big news announcement on the episode 200.
Yeah.
Probably next week when we have loads of time to talk about it. There'll be nothing.
So, moving on from that then, have
Yeah.
we got any other news this week?
We've got a few bits of news. It was a very light news week until we got to this. So, we did have a rumour
Okay.
that the Doctor Who spin-off Class has been axed.
Okay. Which
by
would be no
BBC
surprise, would
After
it?
one series.
Which would be no surprise.
It's a Mirror rumour, but it's not just the Mirror who are reporting this.
Okay. So what are they saying?
They're saying the 8-parter was the BBC's most high-profile attempt at a teen show in years, but ratings were so low, both online and for the BBC One repeat, it now looks like School's Out forever. Class launched on BBC iPlayer in October, but despite Peter Capaldi appearing as the Time Lord in the first episode, got just 660,000 views.
That is very, very low, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how that compares to the average on BBC Three. I still think
I don't think it would be that high. Anyway.
I still think that it, to me, just demonstrates that the whole marketing of that particular show was very, very poor.
It was, yeah.
You know, I don't like the BBC Three model anyway, and I've moaned about that
There's
enough
this
on it.
advert on at the moment which looks just awful.
Yeah.
It looks like, why does that? It's like, if that's one of the best bits in it that makes you want to watch the programme, then what's the rest of it like?
What for Class?
No, it's just for another BBC Three show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just another usual BBC Three show.
Yeah, I just think, you know, I don't agree with BBC Three the way that it is now, full stop, to be fair.
No.
And I personally believe that was far more of a problem with Class than the content of Class. Because Class itself looked very good, the stories were very good. I think it was a real valiant effort, and I'm disappointed that we're not going to see another series of it.
No, yeah, me too.
Because I for one enjoyed it.
Me too.
What did you put a tweet around earlier on with a poll for this? So you were asking whether people were disappointed by the rumour that there was going to be no second series. What sort of response did you get back from that?
Apparently, we've got 38% yes.
Being what?
It is, people are sad
Yeah.
that it has been axed, and 62% no, they're not sad. So most people don't mind that it's been axed.
So sorry, can you repeat that then? So
38% yes, 62% no.
so the 62% of people saying they're not sad. So 62% of people are quite happy, quite content that it's axed. Which that surprised me actually, that you had that result come through from the poll. Because the thing about Class is that actually, from a episode perspective and a reviews perspective, from what I could gather, it seemed to be fairly highly rated. It had, I mean, listening to a lot of the Doctor Who podcasts, I think it's fair to say that the couple that we listened to, neither were completely sold on it.
No, they weren't.
Which would be Radio Fuscaro, where some of them liked it, some weren't so keen, and the Big Blue podcast, where I don't think either of them were overly fond. Were they?
No, they weren't.
So
They didn't mind.
Yeah.
They did put something. Where is it? Oh.
it just I don't know. So maybe it's not going to be particularly missed. But personally, I think it was a real valiant attempt at doing something a little bit different.
Well, they said it was a weak premise, weak writing, weak characters, weak execution, and poor viewing figures. Yet so many shocked at it not getting a second series.
I do disagree with them
Yes.
on that particular front. But it's all down to opinions. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good show.
Me too.
And, I'm sad. I'm sorry that they're not making it.
Me too. It's a shame. This is a rumour, but it is possibly true because the BBC have no decision on a recommission.
Has the BBC confirmed they've no decision?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it does sound like it's going to be true, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think, you've mentioned before that maybe even if they're not going to do another series, maybe they should at least do a one-off special just to round a few things off, and that would be the case, wouldn't it?
Or have all of the Weeping Angel stuff solved in Doctor Who.
Because that is intriguing.
Yeah, I think it would be such a shame if we don't know what's going on with that and the arrival and everything.
How about this? One-off Big Finish production.
Yeah.
Do that.
That nobody could afford. Okay.
Any other news? Other than that?
We've got a brief bit of news here. The Doctor Who experience then.
Yep.
Final bit of news today. A petition to try and prevent the Doctor experience in Cardiff from closing has received over 11,000 signatures.
Wowza.
The petition was launched after it was announced that the exhibition on Cardiff Bay is due to close this summer when the 5-year lease expires. The Doctor Who experience opened in London in 2011 before moving to a purpose-built building in the Welsh capital. It is currently situated at Porth Teigar, Cardiff Bay, near the BBC studios where Doctor Who is made. The site is owned by Cardiff City Council, who issues a 5-year lease to BBC Worldwide to host the experience. The petition will be presented to the Doctor Who experience today, I believe. It's a shame if that closes because we loved it when we went, but we are happy that we did go.
Yeah.
When we did.
I think though that it's a difficult one because it's such a specialist subject that I can't imagine that from a popularity perspective it's going to be busy all the time. Having said that, when we went it was still pretty busy, wasn't it?
It was very busy, yeah.
So, maybe I'm completely wrong there. Maybe it's the sort of thing where they should move it around periodically.
Yeah, maybe they should.
They had it in London for a bit. Maybe move it up to, I don't know, Manchester for a bit.
That's what I was thinking,
yeah.
Yeah, it would be good if it went back to London because that's really easy for us to get to.
Yeah.
From here.
Okay. Well,
okay.
That's interesting. Any further news?
We haven't, this week, because I said...
No Lethbridge Stewart novels?
No.
What?
Slow news, apart from the new Season 10 trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant trailer, by the way. Very exciting. We're very excited because in 7 weeks' time today, we will be previewing and watching A Star in Her Eye.
Excellent. Good. Okay, well, let's crack on with our next section then, which is going to be...
memorable moments in Doctor Who. So, as it's episode 200 this week, we've got a snazzy new theme tune. We've got the return of an old favourite later on. We've got a review of a special episode. So that means we're going to have a special feature which will be looking back some of the most notable events in Doctor Who history and what episodes they appeared in and what we thought of those and how well they did them.
Okay. So, do you want to lead the way on this?
Yes. Let's start with An Unearthly Child then.
Okay.
The first ever Doctor Who story possibly one of the most notable stories of all time.
Yeah.
How well do you think it did? Part 1 alone to start with.
I think, it's part 1 that makes it, isn't it? To be fair?
It is, because parts 2 to 4, I
Yeah.
think, are quite disappointing compared to.
Yeah, I think I like it more than you do.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great one at introducing the character into television.
Yes.
I think it must have been very exciting in its time, probably quite different from anything else. I think what is quite interesting though is it also shows how much TV has changed over the years, in that the main character in it is an old guy,
Yeah.
and you can't see that necessarily that would work anymore.
But
And
the
I-
main character is an old guy. at the
But
moment.
I think that has been open to criticism. I think really,
Yeah.
in terms of a lot of the
Most
younger
people
generation,
think
for
it doesn't
instance.
work, and we were talking about that on
Yeah.
our 3-minute rant that we recorded.
Yeah, but I think the younger generation sort of struggle a little bit with Capaldi's Doctor because he is older, but that didn't seem to matter in the old days. When you look at it, the first 3 Doctors all looked quite old. Didn't they?
Yeah. And then now we've gone back to that.
Yeah.
The first regeneration then
Yeah.
occurred a little while later in the 10th Planet. We were going into a new era of the show because we had a new Doctor. We stayed with the same companions, however. It was a very brave move for the show, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if they always planned to have this. I don't think they do, or how long before they did it. They planned to do it.
Yeah, it was a very clever idea, wasn't it? Because
It is.
it's something quite unique in terms of a concept of your main character actually physically regenerating.
It was.
We'd have numerous occasions where characters have changed actor,
Yeah.
notably James Bond, but it's always meant to be the same character.
Mm.
Here, it's the same character, but he's definitely had, sort of not only different faces, but personalities changing, So
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I mean, also what that also provided us with was our first glimpse at the Cybermen.
It did, yes, in the 10th Planet, and that
Yeah.
was good to see some notable villains. Other notable villains include the Daleks,
Of course,
who were
yeah.
the first non-humanoid villains that we saw in Doctor who appeared in their second story. They're possibly the most notable villain, as we were talking about earlier on. They have to appear in every series now, or at least we think they do.
So-
They were less. Popped up less in Classic Who, but in the first Doctor era, they did pop up 4 times.
Yeah. So who, of all the villains that the first Doctor faced, is it only really the Daleks and the Cybermen that you would deem to be recurring? Anyone else that showed up more than once? I know you've had lesser characters like the Meddling Monk. that
Yeah,
have
he's
shown up a
popped
little
up
bit,
more than...
and perhaps feature in the Big Finish stuff.
No,
But I can't
he
think of
popped
any
up
other-
in the Daleks Master Plan as well.
Yeah,
So he
Well, I can't
appeared in
think
2
of,
stories.
I can't think of any that have actually been in
Other eras.
other episodes, not actual physical TV series episodes.
What do you mean?
No other villains from that era that have come back in other
Yeah,
Doctors, no?
no.
Okay.
So then, in the second Doctor era, obviously we saw monsters like the Ice Warriors being introduced to us.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to the John Pertwee era, where we had a complete, fresh, clean slate thing, with a new Doctor, a new companion. We had the show in colour now.
Yep.
It was brilliant to
Yeah.
see such a change in the show.
We
It
also
worked
had
as
him.
well.
We also had him for the first time being located on Earth all the time, didn't we?
Yes, the Exile, and it was another brave move, I think.
Yeah. No. Indeed, yeah.
But the John Pertwee era is possibly one of my favourite eras on the show.
It was also the first time where we got sort of an expansion, I guess, away from not only the companions, the immediate companions, but we started to get introduced to the unit family, effectively.
Yes, and we also got a load of new monsters introduced: the Centaurans, the Autons, the Master.
Yeah. There's an argument to say that actually the Pertwee era was the most productive in terms of introducing aliens that would become recurring aliens.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very large for that. Did I mention Silurian, Sea Devil?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
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 God, yeah, we had a big era there. Obviously, the main villain in that era was the Master.
Yeah.
Which was a notable event in that era of the show.
No, that's right.
Tom,
even when you look at Tom Baker's era, you had the Daleks, you had the Cybermen, both of which are recurring from previous eras. But the only ones really that are recurring monsters that I can think of that first appeared in the Fourth Doctor story is probably the Zygons.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any others. Davros.
Yeah, Davros actually counts. Yeah.
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 Oh,
and the Sontarans. No, the Sontarans had
Sontarans were in Time Warrior.
From Pertwee, didn't they?
Yeah. But yeah, out of main villains, there weren't many.
No.
So the Tom Baker era stepped us from the 70s to the 80s over his time.
Yeah.
There weren't that many pivotal events in that era, even though it was known as the golden years of the show. For many fans, including you.
Indeed, it's still my favourite era, but I did grow up with it. But I'd say the strongest era, to me, is probably Troughton through Pertwee through Baker.
My favourite era as a Doctor is Pertwee, because every episode I like.
Yeah, there is that.
And I've got to do on my website a best worst of the Third Doctor soon, and I can't think of what my least favourite one is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, after that period, I think towards the end of Tom Baker's period, as we've discussed on numerous occasions on this podcast, you start seeing a slow decline.
You did. There were stories that aren't liked by many. There are stories like Meglos in that final series. But then Peter Davidson era was very, very meh in terms of our episodes.
Yeah.
Although there were classics like The Five Doctors and The Case of Androzani.
Yeah, I was going to say in Androzani, that they were people's favourites, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The Colin Baker era sort of introduced an element of gore, I would say, and violence to some episodes.
Yeah.
Such as The Twin Dilemma and The Vengeance on Varos.
Yeah.
Which was there were lots of complaints about this.
Yeah.
Like what had happened before with both the Spearhead from Space and particularly the Terror of the Autons, because, you know, the Terror of the Autons has a lot of household products that are taken over by the plastic.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you go into the Seventh Doctor era, which is notable for ending Doctor Who.
And notable for being crapping for a big chunk of it.
As you may know if you're a regular viewer, last week we watched Paradise Towers and it was god awful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that's nothing against Sylvester McCoy, because we liked Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, Sylvester McCoy was possibly the best thing about Paradise Towers, but it's not his fault. It's just everything else in the story.
Yeah, we've got, as people that are regular listeners would know, we have a section on the show called The Randomizer, which is a spreadsheet that randomly plucks out an episode for us to watch the next week.
Yes.
And we've just got this horrible feeling it's going to pick out Delta and the Bannermen.
Yeah.
Which would be awful because it's our 100th randomizer, actually.
God, yeah, it is amazing to think that.
Yeah. Okay, well, have you got anything else to add on this?
I have got some things to add about New Who.
Carry on then.
New Who. Not as notable on the villain front, but there were a few firsts.
Yeah.
We saw, obviously, the Revive series, Doctor coming back for the first time after a over 15 years of gap.
I think
after the TV movie.
I think also another thing that's notable to me is that certainly when we move into Moffat's period, is that the stories, whilst they've always been complicated to a certain extent, and they've used a lot of technical space mumbo jumbo, but the quality, the story's complexities did increase significantly.
They did, yeah.
Because all of a sudden you start introducing twists and things like that.
Yeah. And the companion development
Yeah.
more. So yeah, we had Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor. He regenerated into David Tennant, one of the Doctor's most loved forms.
Yep.
Not by Deacle here.
No.
But there was the Weeping Angels who were introduced in this era, and there are a number of notable episodes in here.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Then the Matt Smith era.
Yep.
Not much notable happened here.
Notable for the 50th.
Notable for the 50th, obviously. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. The first few years were a bit. There were some good stories in there, but not much notable things went on.
I tell you what I do think was notable for that era, though.
Yes.
Which was just the whole opening up the foreign market. In that, I
What do you
think we
mean?
started to see an increase in interest in Who for other countries.
Yes, we did. Peter Capaldi era. We had a Doctor, an older Doctor being introduced. Jenna Coleman left. And now we get on to season 10, which is a series which is possibly the most anticipated series so far of New Who, because we've waited so long. And if this series isn't good, then us and other fans will be very angry because of the amount of time we've waited.
I think a lot of people will just switch off and they'll take some persuading to come back into the fold if it's
Maybe
rubbish.
including me, because if the first episode's rubbish, and we've had to wait 14 months,
Yep.
what's the point?
So if that's the case, you might find that episode 206 or whatever it would be,
208.
okay, would probably be from then onwards just be called Time and Space.
Yeah, because we'll be talking about things like time and
Yeah.
space. Exoplanets.
EastEnders, Time and Space.
Du-du-du.
So, okay. Well, if you had to pick out the three most important moments of Who history, what would you say?
First episode.
Yeah.
Revival.
Yeah.
The 50th.
Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with that actually.
Yeah.
Can't argue with
Yeah,
that at all.
yeah.
Although, I mean, the only thing I would add in, if we had a fourth one, would possibly just be the whole concept of regeneration.
Yes. I would also say the ending of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
In the classic era. Are you drifting off?
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, as we've had that notable moments feature, as long as you don't have anything else to note,
No, that's it. I'm noted.
we are going on to our review of the 50th anniversary episode, The Day of the Doctor. So then, episode 200, we decided that we would be watching a special episode this week, and we decided that we would be watching the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, partly because it's a special episode, and also the final decision was because of John Hurt, so this was dedicated to him.
Okay, and
So-
it's actually the first time I'd watched this since it was broadcast.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a small clip of it since then. There were a handful of clips here and there, but yeah.
Yes, could you please read a synopsis for us?
Okay, I'll keep this fairly brief. So we start off, first view that we get in this one, very, very clever, and we'll perhaps talk about it in a little bit. But you see a police officer walking out of Trotters Lane next to Coal Hill School, which is basically taking us back to the very first ever episode of Doctor Who.
Yes.
Which started with a police officer walking out of Trotters Lane. Do one thing or another. I mean, what that basically leads us to realise is that Clara is now a teacher at Coal Hill School. Doesn't really have a big impact on this particular story,
But it
but that
does
becomes
later
more
on.
prominent in the next series. So what happens with this? Well, basically, what we see here is that the Doctor and Clara they get lifted by a helicopter in the TARDIS to a mysterious undergallery, which is underneath the main London gallery off of Trafalgar Square. What we find is that in the National Gallery there are these 3-dimensional paintings, and the first one we see basically is called Gallifrey Falls and No More, and it's all very weird. So it's literally 3D. There's stuff going on inside it. We then find a little bit deeper down within the vault. There's also these other paintings where the figures that were within them had mysteriously disappeared, and that gets revealed a little bit later on. So that's very much all based around the 11th Doctor at that point, the 11th Doctor and Clara. We then jump over to a sequence with John Hurt's War Doctor, and he's basically on this sort of like sole mission, really, isn't it, to try and put an end to the Time War. He takes on this big horde of Daleks.
Yes.
And he's obviously also, I don't know, he's got this sort of dilemma really. He breaks into the main Time Lord base thing. I can't remember what that's called.
The Citadel.
Yeah, breaks into the Citadel and steals this weapon called the Moment. And the basics of the Moment is that it can destroy like a whole planet, basically, and it suck a planet out of existence, sort of thing. And his intention really is to use it, appreciating that it will be the cause of death of not only the Daleks as a race, but also the entirety of the Time Lord race, including women and children. But he thinks it's the only way to do things to actually save the universe. So, which is the reason, effectively, why the Doctors in the future refuse to really take on board that character. Yeah. Don't they? They've sort of shunned that character from their existence. So that's really how we get introduced into the War Doctor. He's also the Moment, the box weapon. The Moment has got a conscience, which is displayed by Rose Tyler, or the Bad Wolf.
Yes.
Who only the War Doctor can see.
Played by Billie Piper.
Yeah, and she helps him really make the decision which forms the basis of the outcome for this story. We then also touch base with the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, who is with his with Queen Elizabeth I, gallivanting around, having picnics, etc., etc. And then he lets on to her that he actually realises that she's not really Queen Elizabeth at all, but a Zygon. That turns out to be not true whatsoever, and it's actually the horse that's a Zygon. But one way or t'other, what we find out is that there's a Zygon invasion. And what the Zygons are trying to do is that using sort of time technology, they've sort of implanted themselves in these time capsules that look like pictures, which at a time when Earth is got up to a sort of technological age that they're comfortable to live within, they can break free from these paintings and take over Earth.
Yes.
Is that enough of a story?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I could carry on because there's so much going on in this.
There is.
But what's your general thoughts of it, and how does it compare to your memories of it from when it was originally on?
Obviously, it's the 50th, and it is brilliant. It's an almost perfect script, I would say. And, you know, there's so much going on in it in so little time. 3 Doctors, you know, the inclusion of a new Doctor, the War Doctor, and the personality between David Tennant and Matt Smith's great. We've got the Zygons, the Daleks, Unit, Queen Elizabeth, and the stuff at the end.
Yeah.
All of the special 50th anniversary tie-in bits.
What I really like about it is, some of this will probably get picked up in the Too Good Too Bad feature later on, but it's not afraid to make fun of itself.
No.
There's a great moment when the 10th Doctor gets kissed by Queen Elizabeth,
Yeah.
and John Hurt's War Doctor says something along the lines of, "Oh, we do that now, do we?" And it was just very very funny because a big criticism certainly I have of New Who is that there's too much romance with the Doctors and the companions, and it was sort of making fun of itself really in that respect. So that I like that. Before we get on to a discussion a bit more generally about Day of the Doctor, should we do the too good too bad now?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that helps us prompts our discussions more generally, doesn't it?
Okay, so
too good, too bad, two good things, two bad things.
I love how the Doctors react together. David Tennant, Matt Smith, and John Hurt work together brilliantly, and they're a perfect pairing.
Yeah, I think they do. I find the bit when they first. Sorry, I'm just muddling all my sentences into one. As you know, I find quite often David Tennant's Doctor a little bit twee.
Yes.
But actually, in the company of Matt Smith's Doctor, it works really, really well.
It does, yeah.
Because
they're very
quite
similar.
They are quite similar. They're probably the two most similar Doctors to come
And
after
they're in a
each
row,
other
yeah.
that we've had. But there is a variation on their character.
Yeah.
And I really like that. There's the moment when they're both quite excitable when they're pointing at each other and going, ooh, and things like that,
Yeah.
That's really good. So I'd agree, that is one of the good things. Other good thing, I'm going to say the Return of the Zygons.
Oh yeah, because the Zygons had only appeared in it once before this, in Terror of the Zygons. I mean, as a single episode, we don't see them that much,
No.
or as much as we would wish at that point. But
they're very chilling, aren't they?
Yeah.
The first time when they come into it properly, well, we see them a little bit, don't we, in the Elizabethan section, but then when we get into the main bit with Unit and they start turning into, what was it? I think it's when they're chasing Osgood and the other guy around, and they are quite scary. But at the same point, they've retained the main look of the Zygons, so they didn't do what they did with, say, the Silurians. The Silurians look better. They look more Star Warsy than the original Silurians, but they've lost a lot of the chill factor.
yeah, I mean, what I must say is that the as a Zygon scene, they're great in this, but all Zygon episodes are great. I love Terror of the Zygons and the Zygon Invasion version. In the Zygon section alone, we would have had more advancements in a second story, and we did get a sequel to this in the Zygon one last year. But it was out of all of the three Zygon ones, as that single section, it's probably my least favourite section of Zygons.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's the best episode.
Yeah.
With them.
I just realised though I've completely missed in my too good the best thing about the 50th completely, which is the final section, or the bit just before the end.
Yeah.
The bit when Tom Baker's voice is heard is probably actually not just my favourite part of this episode, but could well be my favourite moment from Doctor Who ever.
It is very, very good. It worked really well. When I was first watching it in the cinema, I was like, I was so excited by its inclusion in the episode.
It actually brought a tear to my eye, and it did again watching it again now.
I mean, you have watched it since.
And because I wasn't expecting that at all when I first watched it. They kept that bit a really good secret, didn't they? And that moment when you suddenly hear his voice, the music underneath it's really, really nice and really builds up. But it's just a beautiful moment, isn't it? And the dialogue between Tom Baker and Matt Smith is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So, however much I love the Zygons, I've just got to double track a little bit there and say that is my goodest bit.
Okay. Well, the bad bit's a bit harder, I must say, because obviously it's the 50th and it's an almost perfect script. I'm going to say, although not as bad as the last time, the worst bit in it is the Queen Elizabeth scenes.
Yeah, I would agree, but
they're okay.
They're not. I seem to remember them being worse than that. But,
yeah.
But actually, they work well in moulding the story together.
Yeah, they do.
I think probably my bad again, isn't really bad, but it does one of those things right at the beginning that I'm very critical of with Doctor Who, which is that in that first sequence when the TARDIS gets lifted up into the helicopter, it gets virtually every London sort of big building in it.
Yeah.
So you go past the London Eye, you go past Gherkin, you go past the Thames, you go past Trafalgar Square, and it's a real sort of pointer. It's so that people can really associate with it. I can completely understand why they do it. It does sort of like annoy me a little bit, but I must say, having said that although that sequence is very, very, very cheesy, I really like it in the context of the 50th.
I really like it too.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
So it just about constitutes bad, but it's bad in the same way as you can look back on years later and the Right Said Fred song doesn't seem as bad as it did.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of thing. It's fun.
It's very fun. What else do you want to say? Do you want to say anything? I
would like to talk
any
a little
other
bit.
discussion points you want to bring up?
I would like to just sort of say about how great John Hurt is in it.
He is very good in it, and we were obviously he has passed away now, but it is great to see his legacy in this episode.
There's some hilarious lines in it, isn't there?
There are, yeah.
I like there's a moment when, because he's constantly making fun of the two younger doctors,
Yeah.
in terms of the way that they talk, and there's a moment when he makes fun of the timey-wimey.
Yeah.
Bit, doesn't he? Can you remember the exact line? You're usually better than me at remembering lines.
No, I can't.
It's something like, do we have the timey or something
Do we
like
have
that?
to timey-wimey to do that or
yeah.
something?
Yeah, and it's just his way of having a dig, and that happens on numerous occasions.
Yeah, it does.
Whole way that they basically go from shunning that character to realising what a difficult decision he had to make and helping him make the right decision is also really, really well done.
It's a very different idea for a Doctor, and it's amazing how Stephen Moffat came up with the fantastic idea to have a brand new Doctor.
Yeah.
Played by the brilliant Hurt.
I think that my final comment really on this would be what a fantastic 50th anniversary episode it was. It could so easily have fallen flat.
Yeah,
and also, I'd just like to say, to me, watching this again, you get so much criticism over Stephen Moffat's tenure of the show. I think watching this again really makes me realise how much good he's done, and that he's a really good writer. He, regardless of what people say, okay, there may be the occasional thing that have been hit and miss, but actually overall, he's done some great stuff in his run as showrunner.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think many writers could have picked up the whole concept of doing a 50th anniversary and made it as successful and big as what Moffat did.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and it was so clever, and there were so many fabulous scenes in it, such as the Tom Baker sequence, the ending sequence, the Zygon's return, the chemistry between all of the Doctors.
The only thing I think now, looking back on it, is I wish, however good it was when it was released as a separate minisode, I sort of kind of wish that the Night of the Doctor was actually part of that 50th
Where
anniversary.
would it go?
So probably just after before the War Doctor comes into it properly.
Yeah.
So you're sort of seeing some sort of context of how he got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would have been quite.
That would have been
quite.
Oh yeah, I
interesting.
see how you mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, the final thing I was going to say on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I know we do need to crack on.
Yeah, we do.
But
Big
it's one of the quickest hour and a halves.
It's not an hour and a half.
How long is it?
An hour and a quarter.
Hour and a quarter. Okay, well it's one of the quickest hour and a quarters. I couldn't believe we were that near the end.
I
when
know.
it happened. The other great thing, we obviously weren't in a position to be able to have all of the Doctors in it.
Yes.
I think it probably would have been wrong to have tried to have the surviving doctors in it
Yeah,
because of the
because-
fact they're so much older. You could do it with the one like they did with Tom Baker, and that's
Yeah.
the right doctor to do it with because
It is because
he is the doctor. Isn't he?
out of the ones who's alive. I mean,
Yeah.
if William Hartnell was still alive at that point, which obviously that wouldn't have happened, but if it was like, say, if William Hartnell was alive,
Yeah,
I'd say he would be in it,
yeah. No,
and he
probably,
would be.
yeah.
You know, he would definitely be in it.
But I said this on numerous occasions, when people think about Doctor Who, in terms of the classic Who, people still always draw Tom Baker
They do. Yeah.
because his image, was just so much like that. So, but the way that they actually managed to integrate all of the Doctors, including the anticipation of Capaldi's Doctor,
Of course.
in that final sequence, was spot on. Absolutely
First
spot
appearance
on.
of Capaldi in
Yeah.
it,
And you got that really great end sequence
where all
when
of the
you
Doctors
see
are
all
on
the
the
Doctors
cloud.
on the cloud, and that's just a brilliant ending, isn't
That
it?
is fantastic ending, and it sums up 50 years of Doctor Who. This episode is perfect. It's the best revived episode for me, and it comes second on my randomizer position.
And I think it probably does for me. It's only Genesis
Yes.
of the Daleks that's ahead of it,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure that's going to change.
No, I don't think so. I think those are the top two.
Yeah, I think you're probably
I
right.
think probably Blink will get close, but it won't
Yeah.
beat those two.
Excellent, good. Does that wrap up our? Well, we probably whilst we're here. I mean, ordinarily, the episode we watch each week is selected by the Magic Randomizer.
Yeah.
This week, obviously, we did a special with the Day of the Doctor, so we
Yeah.
selected that ourselves. Shall we press the Magic Randomizer now?
No, because you've got to do the Twitter polls
Oh yeah, do the Twitter polls first
and
then.
the scores.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about the schools. Yeah,
What should you do
do the
first?
Twitter polls first of all.
Okay, so set up a Twitter poll earlier in the week, and we've got the results back. So far, nobody said it was okay, but 7% said it was terrible, which is hard to believe. 14% said it was good, and 79% said it was fantastic.
I think. I mean, and also, I mean, if we take it to the last Dawn poll, okay, I think there was probably because it was that was done long after that was released.
Yeah,
It probably is higher in the current Dawn poll than it will be eventually.
it will be, yeah.
But it was top, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with towards the end of that poll. Okay, and your other bits you wanted to talk about?
Okay, polls. By the way, I just wanted to say Doctor Who's trending on Twitter at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's cool. We are. So we always do the this thing. So what do you think of the monsters and villains
Okay.
out of 10?
Out of 10.
Scores.
Oh, sorry, yeah, for these scores. Zygons. 10, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've got to be a 10 for the
the
Zygons.
Daleks.
And the Daleks, yeah.
But definitely the Zygons.
Zygons, they're our favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, mine too.
Okay.
Yeah, character development.
Brilliant. Again, the character
Yeah.
development is really, really strong. Even if you just talk about the War Doctor and the character development with the War Doctor, it's a 10 for me.
Is it? Okay. Big guns there. Excitement.
Really exciting. Can I give it a 10 for excitement? Yes.
Can you?
Yeah, I think I can.
Pace.
I think I can, because it is really, really exciting.
Pace.
Pace, as I said, it was... Do you know, I think... I won't give it a 10 for Pace, I'll give it a 9, purely because I think it could have been an hour and a half, and they could have slowed it down
Yeah.
very, very slightly. Because it's very fast moving
But it
in
isn't
itself, but it's not. It doesn't feel rushed, but I would still like it to have gone on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 9 for that.
And story.
Story, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay,
Story.
so that's very high. 48 out of 50.
Yeah,
Very, very good. As an overall score, what do you give it?
I would probably give it about a 9.5.
Yeah, me too. I would give it a 9.6.
It is really, really good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I loved it when I watched it the first time round. Obviously, we lose the shock factor of it watching it
Yes.
again now, but I still really enjoyed it.
Me too.
On second viewing.
Me too.
So, shall we press the magic randomizer?
We shall do, yes.
So this basically is a spreadsheet capturing every episode of Doctor Who ever. By pressing the little macro button, we find out what we are watching and reviewing for your veritable enjoyment next week. And what do we
Let's
have?
hope it's not Paradise Towers.
Yeah, what have we got here?
Okay.
Okay, so this is actually just the 100th randomizer.
The 100th
We're watching.
randomizer, and it's quite an obscure one,
Okay.
but it is The Beast Below. Do you
Okay.
remember this one?
Is this the one with the slide, isn't it?
Yes, Smilers.
The
yeah.
slide, sorry.
11th Doctor story,
Okay.
the second one
Yeah.
in that series.
Yeah.
Haven't watched 11th Hour yet on the randomizer, have we?
No, we haven't, I don't think. No.
No.
Second episode's usually a little bit meh. That's,
And it is a little bit meh, but it's got some good bits.
Yeah.
It's quite a good idea to
The
it.
slide is good.
Yeah, Smilers.
Smilers, sorry. Yeah.
Stop calling them sliders.
So that's what we have. Let's move on then to our final section, which is
The return of quiz or question. So,
it
here
returns.
we are for one-off, for now anyway, edition of quiz or question. We thought we'd do this because it has been one of our most enjoyed and popular features on
Yeah.
our time on Doctor Who Time and Space. We started it on episode 78, so we did have a long gap between episodes of quiz or question.
I can't remember when we last did it, can you?
Let me look for you, because
I would say it's probably, it's going back to the last time the series was on, wasn't it? Pretty much. Pretty much the last time we had a Who series, I think. Because we used to have quiz or questions associated with...
we did no.
Yeah.
It was the 30th of April.
Okay.
No, the 30th of April.
So nearly a year ago, folks. Nearly a year ago.
a year ago. But it's great to see the return of this because I really like quiz or question.
Explain the rules then.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say it's one-off. We may return it, but not for a while because it's going to go away for a while. So, the rules. We have 6 questions or quizzes, and before we answer them, we have to decide whether they're a question. So, our theories or our opinions on a subject.
Yeah.
Or if it's a quiz, so some sort of Doctor Who related quiz that could be asked to us.
So it's a
in
right or
trivia.
wrong answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right or wrong answer. Should we begin?
And so, let us begin, yes.
Okay, first then. Why is Paradise Towers so bad?
Okay. So, this is, so quiz or question. This is a question.
This is a question.
So there's no right or wrong answer.
No.
There's a right or wrong answer as to whether it's good or bad.
Yes,
Albeit
and
that the Twitter poll from last week would dispute that.
yeah.
Okay, let me see. I've forgotten the question.
Why is Paradise Towers so bad?
Why is it so bad? Okay, where do we start? It looks horrible.
It is horrible.
It is horrible. The story is really horrible.
Most of the cast, apart from McCoy, are horrible.
Oh,
The writing's horrible. The story's horrible. The monsters are horrible.
Yeah, it's just the setting. If I could pinpoint anything in particular that I really hate about Paradise Towers, it would be the fact that it looks like a kids program from CBeebies.
It does, yeah.
Or CBBC, maybe more CBeebies, but without the class that you get in it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Just
So
horrible.
it's just really horrible. It's
not
embarrassing,
recommended.
isn't it?
Like Derry the Doctor, it was
Yeah.
brilliant, but this one is just horrible.
Watching them back to back made me realise quite how bad Paradise Towers
And we watched the
was.
War Games before Paradise
Yeah,
Towers,
yeah.
so it's in a sandwich of really good episodes.
Well, it is really, isn't it? So we
Classics.
said we watched like what we think is the third best episode, certainly since we've done the randomizer.
Yeah.
with the second best, and then sandwiched in between that,
The
are Paradise
worst.
Towers. That's like having a bogey and six sandwich, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically. So that's what I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Next
Have
quiz
you got
or
anything to add to that, by the way?
I would just say don't watch it if you haven't, because I wouldn't recommend it unless you're doing a randomizer like us. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you have to or want to.
There's no doubting that if we were doing the randomizer again, I would accidentally, on purpose, delete Paradise
Yeah,
Towers
me
from the
too.
randomizer list.
So, what the next one is? What was the first Mark Gatiss story?
So this would be a quiz, because there must be a right or wrong answer.
Quiz.
Do I know the answer to this myself? I
No,
would
I can come
say, I think it's possibly the Unquiet Dead.
It is, yes, the
Yeah.
first series, episode 3, which I realised this morning is the first episode of the revival to not be written by RTD.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. And it shows, the fact that Mark Gatiss, I'm never sure how you pronounce it, he's had quite a long run, really, in New Who, hasn't he?
He
He's been
has,
right
yeah.
from the start, and obviously still there, working right up until the
Yeah.
end of Moffat's series.
At least. We don't know if
Yeah.
he's staying for Chibnall's era. Okay, so next, what is the best Ice Warrior story?
Oh, so this is going to be an opinion one, so this would be a question.
Question.
What have we got here? Let me see. I think probably for me, and I've not seen all of them. I mean, I haven't seen Seeds of Doom. I've not seen the Return to Peladon one, or whatever that's called.
Monster Peladon.
Monster Peladon. Of the ones I've seen, it would be The Curse of Peladon.
Yeah, possibly. I really like Seeds of Death.
Mhm.
Seeds of Death is brilliant. But I'm torn between Seeds of Death and Curse of Peladon because they're both brilliant.
Yeah, I like the idea that in The Curse of Peladon, the Ice Warriors aren't really that bad.
Yeah.
They're-
I think I'm going to say Seeds of Death for my favourite. I
Yeah.
like the Bait Under Siege story.
okay.
And it's the first appearance of the Ice Lord, and I love the Ice Lord.
I said Seeds of Doom, didn't I? Because I get very muddled up with my titles.
Yes.
In fact, I get muddled up with life.
There
more
is
generally.
a story called Seeds of Doom,
Yeah,
though,
no,
and
indeed, that's
that
what was
I always
confusing.
get confused because that one's even better than Seeds of Death. That one's
Oh,
brilliant.
okay.
Seeds of Doom.
Excellent.
It's one of the classics. That's the Crinoid one.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up.
Next up, would the 50th have been better or worse with the Ninth Doctor?
Okay, so the context here being that probably
Question.
the only the question.
Yeah.
Probably the only reason we got John Hurt as the War Doctor is because of the fact that Christopher Eccleston refused to appear
Yeah,
in.
as he
Yeah,
always
so-
does.
So they basically had that sort of gap. I assume so. I mean, they could have still had Eccleston's Doctor in it and had the War Doctor. I mean, it's an interesting one. Because the War Doctor is such an integral part of the story of
Yeah,
the
he
50th.
is. It's the main focus, really.
At what stage did Stephen Moffat have the general idea of that story?
Yeah. I wonder.
So, would we have seen the War Doctor anyway?
Maybe we would have done. I don't know. I'm sure we would have done.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't have David Tennant in it or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm sure if they could have, they would have loved to have had Matt Smith, David Tennant, and Christopher Eccleston in it.
yeah, they would.
Just because those are the three Doctors at that point from New Who.
Maybe Christopher Eccleston could have appeared in a cameo or something.
So-
or less
Yeah.
if he didn't want to.
I think. Do you know? I think. What's my views on this? I'm going to say no. Actually, I know a lot of people
Okay.
disagree with me on this one, but I actually think it worked really well with the two Doctors that were quite similar in personality.
Yes.
And
One
with
that was very
John
different.
Hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
What would you think, by the way?
I would say that I love the Ninth Doctor. He's good, as are all Doctors. He's one of my least favourites, probably. He falls into the bottom half. But it would have been good to see any Doctor in that episode,
Yeah.
as long as they fitted in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, how many different sonic screwdrivers have there been?
Okay, well that's a quiz because the right one answer. I have no idea.
So we had the one in Patrick Troughton, the one in John Pertwee, Tom Baker.
But were they all different? Were they different at that stage? Did they change?
They changed between, so I think that's 2,
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5, 6, about 7, I'd say.
I mean, they
Not
change
8.
more frequently now because they're now a marketing thing, aren't they? You know,
Yeah.
they can sell the new ones. So.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
a marketing
Okay.
thing. Not roughly 7.
Yeah.
And then, as always, the final question,
Because we always
or
have
quiz.
a final question.
because we always have a big one. What is the worst story from each classic Doctor?
Okay.
Is that a quiz or question?
It's an opinion, so it would be a question.
Question.
Okay. Are you going to answer this one?
Yeah. First Doctor. Unless there's one I'm forgetting, the Web Planet.
Okay.
Just don't like that one.
Uh-huh.
It's annoying.
Second Doctor, Dominators.
Definitely. What about yours?
I've not seen the Dominators. Have I? I've really liked all of the ones that I've seen. Well, I mean, probably the worst one of the Charlton series that I've seen is probably the Crotons, but I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. What about the First Doctor? Have you seen any bad episodes so
No.
far? Okay. Third Doctor is very hard, I'd say. I don't
I don't
know.
think I've seen that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Third Doctor.
I can't choose.
No, it is a struggle actually because all of them are really strong, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't
Fourth
choose.
Doctor.
Um,
Probably that rubbish one that we watched, the first one at the Key of Time.
Underworld.
Yeah.
Me.
What's the one now? The Ribos Operation.
Ribos
Yeah.
Operation.
Which seems to be quite highly rated when you look at it.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that at all. I found that very boring.
Let me think. King's Demons, I'd say, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't like that
Okay.
one that much. For fifth, do you have a fifth?
Fifth Doctor.
Maybe Time Flight.
No, none that they're all a little bit merry. None that really stick out as being significantly bad. No.
Okay. 6 Twin Dilemma.
Probably I haven't really seen enough.
Okay. 7 Paradise Towers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Eighth Doctor would have to be the movie.
Yeah, because you can't
That's
choose night, because
also
that's
the best.
brilliant.
Okay. In terms of the ninth,
Isn't it just classics, or should we go into news as well?
let's just quickly do
Boomtown, yeah. 10th, Fear Her.
Yeah, I'd agree.
11th,
This is quite difficult actually.
Closing Time for me. Nightmare in Silver for you.
Maybe. Yeah.
12, Sleep No More.
Sleep No More. Agreed. Okay. Does that wrap up our Who to Face?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our show as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We've rattled through quite a bit in an
We
hour
have.
and a
It's
quarter.
like they did in Dave the Doctor.
We did indeed.
So, thank you for tuning in today. It's been a special show with episode 200.
Mm-hmm.
Been brilliant. We'll just take a moment, actually, to thank you for listening to us over the last 200 shows. I mean, we've got some brilliant content coming. We've got season 10 coming in a few weeks.
Yep.
We've, over the next 200, we've also got Comic-Con visits, more previews, reviews, brilliant features, the randomizer reviews. And we have to thank you for these 200 shows. And here's to the next 200.
Here's the next 200. Unless, of course, episode 1 of series 10 is rubbish, in which case, bye!
Goodbye, Star in Her Eyes, the last review.
So, what do we have on next week's show?
It's episode 201, and we are going to be having a look at the worst 6 episodes of Classic Coup
Oh, okay.
in the 6 episode challenge. Worst.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yes.
We'll be giving our thoughts on A Beast Below.
The Beast.
The Beast Below.
But we will be looking at the latest news and views. Maybe not a season 10 trailer like we had this week.
We'll be pressing the magic randomize.
And that's about it.
I think it probably will be about it. Is that not enough for you people?
Yeah.
Is that not enough? What more do you expect? We can't talk at this pace every week, you know.
How do you get in contact with us then? You can talk to us at who time as in N space, to talk about the latest season 10 teaser trailer, Time for Heroes, the review, the Day of the Doctor, memorable moments in Doctor Who, or The Beast Below, or your worst episodes.
Excellent.
Or any of the quiz or question replies.
Yeah,
if you want
we
to
just
give
like
us.
hearing from you. I mean,
Just
you can
anything.
also you can drop comments underneath the Podomatic page,
Yes,
which
at
is
Doctor Who Time and Space, and on YouTube, Miss Loose Moon.
excellent.
Yes.
Good, brilliant. Well, on that note,
Yeah,
shall we disappear off into another time and space?
we shall do. Thank you for tuning in. Today has been a very special show, and we'd like to thank you for the last 200.
Thank you.
I've been Liz Moon.
I've been Dr. Cool.
We'll see you next time, same time.
Same space.
Goodbye.